Hello, I'm Dr. Angela Loria, the author Incubator, and I'm so excited to be joined today by Norman Plotkin. Norman, thank you so much for being my guest today.
Great to be here.
Norman's new book is Take Charge of Your Cancer, and I wanted to talk today. First of all, what is your book about?
The book's about helping people avoid the tendency to feel like a helpless victim. The medical community is technical and it's hard to know what to do, especially men who can't call their girlfriend and cry when they get a diagnosis. They're supposed to bite the bullet and soldier on, and it's hard to know what steps you can take to engage yourself in your own healthcare.
So I feel like this is the time to ask, is this a personal story? What brought you to working with men on taking charge of their cancer?
Well, it's less about having been a healthcare policy consultant, less about having been a lobbyist for the medical association, and even less about being a clinically certified hypnotherapist working with cancer clients. And it's more about my experience as a cancer survivor, what I learned, and giving meaning to the experience of having cancer by applying what I've learned in my research and helping others so that they can avoid some of the mistakes I made.
So you had worked in the healthcare industry. This was an industry you were familiar with. You get diagnosed with cancer, and did you immediately say, I'm going to take charge of my cancer?
No, and that's
Someday this is going to be the best thing that ever happened to me.
I know. It's so funny, and it's odd to think of cancer as a gift, and that's exactly not what I thought of. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what steps to take. The things you do on the.
I mean, you had, compared to most people, you had money, you had contacts, you had influence, you had.
I knew hundreds of doctors.
Right,
I represented them.
handy.
I represented them before the legislature, and so the thing is, you still don't know what to do. I mean, here are the natural things that you think about: research the doctor and where they went to school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You do
get a second opinion.
Yeah, get a second.
Can I go to the Mayo Clinic? Because
exactly,
that's what people on TV seem to do.
Right.
I don't really know what that means.
Cedars-Sinai, Mayo
yeah,
Clinic.
there you
go. There's some areas. Stanford. There's some areas that have a reputation. The Cancer Center of America. There's a lot of things that come to front of mind, but none of these things are really going to help you. What you really need to find out is figure out how you can apply yourself to your own healing, and that's where Take Charge came, because the power of your own mind is going to engage you in your healing process. The diagnosis itself is can leave you feeling disconnected from your body.
Yeah, and relying on tests that show numbers and pictures of things.
They measured my tumor for 3 years before they even said the word cancer. In fact, cancer wasn't even mentioned until I had to give informed consent for the surgeon to remove my thyroid.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
And no amount of Google searches is going to help you with that.
Right.
So,
well, this is not something Google's helpful. Google, nothing good can come of that if you have a cancer diagnosis, I think.
Right.
So what do you hope for with the idea of Take Charge of Your Cancer? If somebody were to read this book, follow everything in the book, what do you want for them to get out of it when you talk about sort of putting yourself back in the equation? Does that mean automatically the cancer gets fixed?
No, it's a process. In fact, the book is 7 steps toward healing and recovery, 7 proven steps. And it turns out that most cancer survivors, especially from radical remission that is unexplained by Western medicine, they've all undergone these 7 steps. And so my hope is that people can understand the actions that they can take by reading the book, that they can understand the power of their own mind and engagement on their own behalf. If you turn yourself over to your doctor, you're not going to fare well, okay? That's not to say don't go to the doctor. That's not to say don't follow your doctor's expert advice. I had amazing physicians, but I was the one with the skin in the game, and until I was engaged, I wasn't going to do well.
Right.
So
do you think that's the biggest mistake people make? They just turn their power over to a doctor?
Yeah, and it robs you of your own power, your subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind's role in the cancer development and the reversal of the cancer is critical.
Wow, that's huge. So you mentioned there are 7 steps in your book. Does one stand out, or is there one tip or piece of advice if somebody has a cancer diagnosis and they're struggling that you would give them?
Well, they're all very important, but obviously the one step that was the most important in my mind was the title of the book, Take Charge. For you to be the captain of your own healthcare, for you to be engaged in the decisions that need to be made, this sends the message to your powerful subconscious mind that you want to heal. And that's where it all begins.
So if somebody's thinking, yeah, but you already had a lot of experience, you're a trained hypnotherapist, like I don't know how to take care of I don't know how to take charge of my cancer. How can they find you? How can they get kind of your take on what that would mean for them? What do they have to do to be able to take care of take charge of their cancer?
Well, the book is available on Amazon, but if you want to save a few bucks and get a free copy, you can go to takechargeofyourcancer.com. That's takechargeofyourcancer.com for a free copy of the book.
Love that.
They can they can email me at norm@normanplotkin.com, or they can go to normanplotkin.com and learn about the power of the subconscious mind and putting yourself in control of your healthcare.
Yeah, I think it can seem very overwhelming, especially because kind of the flood of noise and emotions that comes with that diagnosis. And I just think having this resource, having these 7 steps that you've put together and not having to figure them out. I'm assuming you had to figure out these 7 steps the hard way.
Oh my gosh, I had to stumble my way through them, and it was over the course of several years. And it turns out in the research for the book, the same things work for so many different people. And this is a place where you can go and find them all without having to do that stumbling.
Yeah, I think that's so powerful. If you have a cancer diagnosis that has been taking up a lot of time in your mind and your heart trying to figure out the right thing to do, or maybe it's someone you love, someone you know and love, check out this book by Norman Plotkin. It's called Take Charge of Your Cancer, and you can get a free copy at takechargeofyourcancer.com. Norm, thank you so much for being my guest today.
Great to be here.